This is the Amazon one-year overview reading for the year 2023. It's currently November 10th, 2022, 8:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Currently, the price of Amazon at the time of this reading is $96.63 according to Google. So the overall theme and behavior, okay, so we have a decline that ends with a fast, sudden move higher. It's crossed with three pokes through the same price level. And a significant low on a multi-year chart. Behavior into the highest high for the year is going to be a notable move higher. It'll stand out on a one-year chart. It'll stand out, and then same thing goes for notable decline standing out on a one-year chart, like a very significant decline standing out on a one-year chart, offering an opportunity, moving into the low and offering us a very significant opportunity to open up a long position. From what I can tell thus far, what I've gathered without going through each card like little by little here, just generalized, it looks like what we have here is our first poke through price level in March, and then we have a notable decline until it looks like until August. Then we start to push higher. We come up and we bump against that same price level again the second time in September, and then again towards the end of October. And so mostly decline in the first half, right? And then a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that decline, and it looks like we do have quite a few places around here where that could have been fast. This is fast and sudden. This is fast and sudden, fast and sudden, fast and a lot going on there. So we'll get into it. So in January, and so if this is your first 1 year, guys, the way these are set up, they're very generalized. You have to give it like a 2-week wiggle room because one card on the timeline, each of these cards here represents about 2 weeks of time. And it's going to be generalized quite a bit, so you're going to see some. You're going to have to give it like a plus or minus 2 week kind of thing, but the sequence of events will be very much accurate. And each cluster of 4 cards represents 1 month. So we have a decline. It looks like a decline that increases with momentum in early January. A decline that increases with momentum moving forward into the month, and it looks like it comes from a period of it's a decline out of a period of prosperity. It looks like probably like the end of a rally at the very end of 2022 or something like that. Behavior around the month of January's high, we have a decline from a overbought crest or peak, and that's on the scale of a 1 year chart. So we decline in early January into our first prominent low. It looks like a lot of price movement is covered to reach a low towards the end of the month. So we go from a low early on to a lower low late in the month of January. Out of that lower low, though, we have a significant move higher, pushing the upper end of a range higher. Yeah, pushing the upper end of a range higher. And it looks like this decline in early January from an overbought peak or crest, it's a price level that's considered significant resistance, and the decline brings us from that resistance into the low towards the end of the month there. So out of that low early or late in the month, probably in the last week of the month of January, prominent low for the year. And the low for the month of January. There is a move higher, pushing the upper end of a range higher. We have a trade opportunity to cash in on a position in what appears to be early February at a support level, and we're rotating sideways. Looks like we turn resistance into new support, at least temporarily there in early February. Yeah, and volatility kind of flattens out around that price level, so that'll be a good way to determine when that price level is. We have Congress, or a not so common leader, highlighted, probably Congress highlighted here around the month's high for February, and there's usually a holding pattern associated with this card and like a big pop and drop kind of deal. So that'll be like the behavior to create the February high. There's also a merger or an acquisition of some kind near the low of February. something to do with work from home type of industry, work from home, or like from like something to do with like holding yourself up in home, or like pulling yourself like into your home and being like solitary, or being like I guess what's the word I'm looking for, like a telecommuter or something like that. And there'll be a merger there involving something along those lines. And then there's a swing trade opportunity. First off, there's a swing trade opportunity at the high, at January's high, involving selling from overbought territory on RSI. And there's that selling takes us into all the way to the low, from the high all the way into the low, and there's a swing trade opportunity there involving that same decline off of the overbought peak or crest. So a swing trade opportunity in January high and the January low, and then we have another swing trade opportunity here in late February where we move higher through resistance level on a 1-year chart. It'll stand out. We break through that resistance level and we're above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level, sort of making like a capital A. If the cross through the capital A in the English language was the resistance, we break out through it and come back down, creating kind of like the shape of a capital A. There's a swing trade opportunity there in late February involving a decline from a crest down to and through a support level on a 1-year chart. We do a U-shaped reversal below that support level, and then we come back and reuse that support that price level as support. It also looks like there's a minor trough in late February, out of which we have a rally, out of which we have sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend preceding a decline. That's interesting. But there's a swing trade opportunity there, and it looks like that pop up in late February through resistance and then back down, and then through another support level, and then we do like a U-shaped reversal and come back and reuse it as support. That's what takes place there. There's a swing trade opportunity in the midst of that. We have the beginning of a rally, it looks like, in early March. Doesn't last long. We hit an important resistance level around the month's high for March, and this is probably a high here, a prominent high for the year, guys. This is very likely the place where we hit 3 pokes through the same price level. It's the first correlation to the sorrow card. So an important resistance level here, and we fall pretty hard. There's a prominent low for the year within close time proximity to the month's high for March. And a significant trade opportunity at the high for March as well. It looks like right smack in the middle of the, actually early in the month of March, or in the middle of March, somewhere around there. There's also a period of volatility in late March that ends with a fast sudden move to the upside. Okay, so I think the March high is probably early. That resistance level is probably early on in the month of March, and then there's a trough that'll stand out on a like multi-month kind of deal. A trough there in probably the beginning of this third week, somewhere around there, beginning of the third week of March. In April, we have, and that trough, by the way, that trough is also a prominent low for the month, or for the year as well. So probably the second time that we hit a prominent low for the year. Is it a lower low than the first low we saw? Yes, so it's probably slightly lower low than the previous main lows in January. We attempt to reestablish support, it looks like. I see. Okay, so there's a trade opportunity at the resistance level in March where volatility kind of flattens out. That's our first poke through that price level. There's a trade opportunity there. We can ride that into a notable decline into a prominent lower trough that's either at the end of March or it's in early April. We attempt to reestablish support in early April. And it looks like we're bound by the upper end of a range in early April, and then again the prominent low for the month or for the year that we see here, probably the lowest low thus far in April is in close time proximity to the high for April as well. So we hit the upper end of a range for the high of April, and then we declined from a prominent peak or crest on a 1-year chart. We declined from a prominent peak or crest to reach the prominent low for the year, and the April low there. And then there's a breakout in late April out of that trade opportunity, out of that trough or low. Bullish price swings, or I should say price swings in early May. But like the end of the first week of May or the second week of May, I'm advised that there's a decline, like a significant decline, very, very shortly or imminent. And we have on the May's month high, there's a notable decline, probably more than just Amazon, but like maybe like a whole industry or possibly the whole market declining from a crest here in May. The low in May, is it the same low as April? Is it a lower low? I think the low in May is probably lower than the low in April. It's either the same low or it's lower. Oh, I'm also advised at the low here in April to exit any like losing trades that are like the remnants of like maybe like a straddle or a strangle or something. I should exit those trades. All right, so the low in May, either the same low or probably lower than the April low, and it forms when we have a rally along a diagonal trend line breaking down with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Looks like there's out of that low. Out of that low in May, there's a notable move higher, even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. And it looks like matter of fact, it looks like that move higher is probably right out of the end of May and into like a lot of movement to the upside. A lot of movement to the upside. A lot of movement to the downside. A lot of movement to the upside in early June. Out of late May. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of movement to the... No, sorry. So what'll happen is we rally into the end of May. We attempt to establish, we do some sideways rotation along a key support around a crest or peak in the end of May or early June, and then there's a notable decline, like a unicursal hexagram kind of decline off of that crest that we see there in early June, to reach another prominent low for the year. Is it a lower low? It's a lower low. It looks like in the end of June we have a lower low than any of the preceding lows that we've seen thus far for Amazon. And there's a notable cash out opportunity, I guess, probably for a short position there in the end of June or into early July. Because we do have this correlation to a low for the year here in June and in July, so sometimes they blend together. My sense is they blend together. In early July, in early July, there's a move higher, testing resistance, and technicals will lead us to believe that we're going to break through that resistance. It's probably the crest that we revisited here in June around the June high. The June month's high, there was a crest that we revisited that was recently a past opportunity. We'll revisit there in June. It's probably a very similar price level to that, or maybe it's the price level, the erratic price level back and forth. It's going to be a similar price level to what we see here in June. We're going to fail to break through it, even though technicals would lead us to believe that we would, and then we turn around and we decline through key support, and that's on a 1 year chart. There's a critical resistance level highlighted around the month's high for July, and it looks like that's probably towards the end of the month. So yeah, okay, so this critical resistance level is like highlighted in June and July. And we probably see it's probably like the same low. The low on the end of July is the low at the, or excuse me, the low at the end of June is the low at the beginning of July. They're probably the beginning of July. They're probably the same low, and it's a lower low than any of the preceding ones. We fall from there after hitting a rally hitting resistance. We fall from there with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down, and then it looks like out of the low. There's a prominent move higher that takes place somewhere towards the end of July or into early August. Very strong move out of a low, moving higher in early August to reach our first like new high for the year, prominent high for the year after meeting all those lows. It's our first prominent high for the year. There's a male ruler of nations highlighted around the high. And a significant move higher to reach that high out of a month's low. It looks like in August there's like an almost irrational move higher, reaching for distant resistance, and then we do some sideways rotation towards the end of the month of August that ends with a fast sudden move to the upside, and it looks like we probably hit. With some kind of like erratic behavior, we probably move higher in early September, and we touch that. There's a correlation to the sorrow card, and we touch that sorrow price level again there in early September or somewhere in September. And that'd be the second time we hit that high. It looks like for the year. Is the price level of the September high higher than the price level of the August high for Amazon in 2023? Yes. Okay, so the price level at the high in September is the highest high thus far. And then it looks like in late September, off of that poke, there's a significant move downward. Wow, a lot going on. So a rally out of the month's low in September, increasing with momentum moving forward into the month. And it looks like there's a higher high. I didn't need to ask that question. There's a higher high in September than there is in August. Looks like probably early in September, and then there's volatility, and we see another prominent low. It won't be like a super low, but it'll be a trough that stands out on a 1-year chart after making that second poke through that resistance level on a 1-year chart. And late September, we do sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a rally. And also there's a swing trade opportunity around the month's low of September, involving a decline from a crest down to and through a support level, and then we do a U-shaped reversal below that support level, come back and reuse it as support. All right, so that decline in the end of September, it ends with a fast, sudden move to the upside here in early October. That fast, sudden move to the upside is a peak, that an opportunity that's easily missed. Does that October low come before the October high? Does October low come after the October high? Okay, so the decline, all right, here we go. So the decline in the end of September continues into early October, and there's a rally that commences in early October. Also looks like, wow, it's difficult to determine that. Okay, so it looks like the decline in the end of September continues into a prominent low in early October. Like a year's low. Is it the lowest low? This very well could be the lowest low. Is it the same low as the low from May, June? No. Is it a lower low? Yes. Okay, so this may be our, like there may be a significant low there in between the attempt to poke through that resistance there and then the attempt to poke through that same sorrow level here in the end of October. Looks like there's a pretty significant low there. A quick peak probably in the end of September that's easily missed, and a decline into a significant low in October for a significant low for the year in October. That decline into the significant low of October, it offers an opportunity to open up a long position. Because out of that low we have a notable move higher, like out of oversold territory on a one-year chart in late October, a notable move higher to reach the high of, out of the low of October to reach the high of October, and also the third attempt to break through that sorrow price level there in late October. That move to the upside offers an opportunity to open up a short position on the scale of a one-year chart. It looks like that move to the upside in October to reach the high. It actually looks like that move out of the low is probably in late October and continues into November, and then in November around the month's high for November, there's a U-shaped dip forming near the intersection of perpendicular diagonal trend lines. Oh, let me back up. There's a couple of swing trades that I missed. Well, I did say the high around. All right, there's one swing trade that I missed. There's a swing trade in early October involving a decline from near oversold territory, from a near oversold peak. It looks like probably the month's lowest, or the year's lowest low is here in October, as well as the third poke at the year's highest high. All right, so U-shaped dip in November around the high, so we probably hit that high twice. The November price levels, the high of the price level of the November high, we probably hit it twice. And there's a U-shaped dip in between it. I'm advised to buy protection around that. We have a significant drop. There. Okay, so probably what we do is we come close, like we dip in early November, and then we come close, like we rally back up and we come close to reaching that price level that we had met here at the high of October, and that's what makes the U-shaped dip. It's like a full rally back from the bottom of the range to the top of the range, but then there's a notable drop off of that price level. A notable drop. I'm advised to open up protection, and then by late November we're declining due to multiple headwinds. The month's low of November forms after a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a one-year chart, followed by a decline through key support on a one-year chart, and there'll be a significant drop after an unexpected pop, a significant drop to meet that month's low in November. Looks like we have another prominent, so out of that low in November, there's a little bit of a crest in early December. I'm advised to be cautious there. We kind of do like a couple fake tops there in early December, and then we turn around and we decline pretty hard off of the December high. off of the December high to reach a December low in late December. Is it a higher price? Is the low of December 2023 for Amazon a higher price level than the low of October? Yes. So it's not quite as low as the October low, but it'll stand out because we made a trough. Just like this isn't, it is not quite the highest high. This probably isn't the highest high, but it's a crest that'll stand out because it's between two troughs, right? And then the sneak preview for 2024 for Amazon is we successfully turn resistance on a multi-year chart into new support. That's a pretty bullish indication. And I'd say probably the juiciest place to get in on the long side in preparation for 2024 is going to be this October low. That's my best guess. It's not 100% certainty, but it's pretty strong certainty. With that said, guys, that's Amazon for 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. If you want to see more Amazon, guys, there's a couple ways you can guarantee to see Amazon 1 month throughout the year of 2023, guys, because I'm not going to be able to keep doing these 1 months for all of these different requests. We're just getting too many requests. I got to do the stuff that's important to me too, especially since, you know, it's for free. So with that said, the best way you can support and guarantee that you're going to see the stock that you want is to place a request on our website, tarotfortraders.com. Order a 1 month reading, and that what it'll do is that'll guarantee that monthly reading gets done. You'll get it ahead of everybody else. And it's relatively cheap considering the value of the information in the reading. We're running roughly a 98% average accuracy with like 30 or so statements, highs and lows to the day and stuff. And it's going for like, I think, $25 a month. You could order it once or you could order recurring. And that's really the best way you could help support us, guys. I appreciate all of you who out there who actually go out and do that for the channel. We really do need your support. Much appreciated. Make sure, guys, you follow that rule of karma. If you're going to profit from this information, it's only going to happen when you follow that rule of karma, my friends. With that said, I'll see you on the next one. This is the 1 year overview reading for Amazon for the year of 2023. It's currently October 25th, 2022, approximately 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and the current price of Amazon is approximately $120.23 per share.